Hi, how are you? I'm fine, thanks for asking. Okay, in this part of the program here, we're going to take our one page. Once we get it styled the way that we want it, now it's time to copy that and make our other 3 pages from it. There's one bit of business we need to take care of first, however. Last time we put our little links in here in our Spry navigation, but we need to actually make those link to something. Even though we don't have the pages yet, we can do this, and that way when we split the pages apart, they'll all be ready to go. So if I roll over this and I'm out of live view, I'll click on this blue bar and it brings up the properties panel for that Spry menu bar. And then I'm just going to go right here. It says home, our text is home, and because I do have this one, index.html, I could navigate to it and say that's what I want here. And that would be fine. But for the other ones, I don't have that, so I'm going to actually have to type that in. So this is the about.html, and hit return after these things so that the code gets updated. Okay, gallery.html, and lastly contact.html. Okay, this is very important. Right now, before we split those pages up, you need to do a save all. Otherwise, that information that we just typed in here would not go with the new pages. Next thing we're going to do is start splitting the pages up. So from our index page, we're going to do a save as, and this one we're going to call about. It should end up right next door to the index.html as we save it, and there it is. We have 2 now pages. You can see the tab up here. Sometimes it takes a second or 2 for it to show up over here in your files panel, but it will eventually when it decides to. It'll just pop right in there when you're least expecting it. So here I'm on my About page, and the first thing I do when I get to these pages is I change the title. This is what will show up at the top of your user's web browser. If they save the home, if they save a bookmark, this will be the name of the bookmark. So you want to make sure that these are different for each page and that they make sense. Okay, and this is going to be our About page. And then also on this one, hit return to change the code. Okay, and now we're going to take out some of this text that we don't need. This is all the text for the home page, which I'll delete, and now we're down to the About page. I'll go down below this as well and take out everything that says gallery page all the way down to the bottom, and now I just have this About page stuff. This is going to be my replacement header text, so I can copy this and paste it in here just like that. But the second part doesn't have that fancy span tag class on it. If I copy it and take all of this and then paste it, I lose that span tag. So instead of doing that, I'm going to leave the B and paste it here and then just delete the B. And that way, I'll show you in the code what I'm talking about. I don't lose this span tag right here of fancy. I could always add it again, but heck, this is just faster, okay? Anyway, so this page is ready to go, and I'll say save, a file save, and then we'll go back to index. Do not make a save as out of the About page because we've already deleted some text and changed the headline. We might as well go right back here and do one more save as. This time we'll call it gallery. Cautiously spelling it the same way we spelled the link. That's important. Make sure we don't add any upper and lower case and stuff like that. That would be a bad thing. And then in this case, of course, name gallery. Hit enter. I'm going to select the text all the way down to the gallery section. It's very jumpy. Okay. Do not attempt to adjust your television. So, new headline again. Practice safe design. I'm going to bring that right in here. I'm going to copy the concept. I only do this because I'm too lazy to type. And also, if my text has been supplied by my client. I certainly don't want to spell something wrong, and I will, given the opportunity. Trust me on that. Okay, and then we'll get rid of all of these down here, and we should have something that looks more or less like that. Okay, so that's a save. Back to index and repeat. Save as. This again is going to be contact, and I am going to change the title. I am going to go all the way to the bottom here and select all of this and see if I can go up faster. Oh, that works. And then delete, change my headline. If you lived here, you'd be home by now. Who writes this? Like so. And good to go. So save this page. Let's take a look at it in a browser. How about Google Chrome? Just to make sure that the links are all working. So we're looking at the contact page. Here's the home page, which we still need to get rid of our extraneous text. Here's the about page, the gallery page, and the contact page. So you should be able to get to any page from any other page. And that all seems to be working. So what I'd like to do is change the backgrounds. Remember in our comps we had different backgrounds for each of these pages. And that's simple enough to do. We'll go to each page. We'll start with the about page. Now remember, all of our CSS to this point is external. Everything has been removed from the page, so our style has nothing in it. There's nothing in it. That means this is the code that is actually in the HTML page itself. So the background image is coming from the Bruce CSS, and it's coming from this body tag right here. Or let me show you this. Right here it says that the background is going to come from images folder, and background home is the image itself. So what I want to do is to change that, but not here, because it would change it for all the pages. I want to change it for the local page itself. So I'm just going to write another body rule that I'm going to not apply to Bruce CSS, but to this document only, right here. This document only, and it is a tag called body. And in my tag called body, all I'm going to do is browse into my images gallery, and I'm going to find the background for the about page, because that's where I am. So bg underscore about.jpg, and say OK to that, and OK to that, and voila, the background changed. Oh, out of order. Bruce is still ahead of this one. See style? It's above this. This is the cascade, this direction. So in order for this to work, remember last rule, I have to put this down here. So into my code I go, and I shall find this rule that I just added. Okay? All of this style. Between the two style tags, I'm going to edit, cut that, and I'm going to move it down under all of this stuff right before the end head tag. That's where I want to put it. Okay, there we go. And now if I refresh, go back over here to design, I see my new background, and see the style has moved to the bottom now. I'm glad that happened, because if I did it right, you wouldn't know how to fix it. So now you know how to fix it. So here's the cascading style sheet. What happens first is right here inside of Bruce, remember this body says to put in the background image, background home. And then it trickles down, blah, 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 cascades down to the style sheet that's within the document itself, and it changes that to the background that says about. So let's go over to the gallery page and see if we can do the same thing. First, I'm going to save before I leave. I know I need to save because there's an asterisk right there at the end. It means there's changes that are unsaved. and when I Command S or File Save, asterisk goes away. Okay, let's see if I'm going to have the same problem here. One of the things that this does that I do not like is it opens all these things and leaves them open every time you come to them. I wish I could just drag this down here and change its location, and I can add it to someplace else, but it's just not going to work. So I physically have to go into the code at this point. Now this didn't happen to me last time. I want you to know that. I'm just going to take this style. There's nothing in it yet, but just those two style tags. I'm going to cut it, Command X, or Edit, Cut, and I'm going to put it right before the end head tag, right here. All right. When I refresh, I can see that my style's been moved to the bottom. And actually, if I click on it and make a new rule, it should offer to put it there first. This document only, so I don't have to mess around with it. Tag, body. Okay, now we're talking. So in the background, I'm going to browse. I'm going to browse to find my portfolio background, because we're in gallery, and of course I named it portfolio, which makes sense, sort of. Say open, say OK, and look at the design, new background. So now I have this background, and we need to just change the contact background. I'm going to do a save here to get rid of that asterisk. There we go. And here we are in contacts. Got to go through the same motions again. Going to move the style to the bottom of this list by going into code. You may not have to do this. As long as that's at the bottom of the list, it's done pretty much. So I'm just going to take those two things, cut them, get in here right before the end head tag, paste it back in, refresh over here. I see that my order is correct. Do a new tag, that's body, and change the background to be the contact background. And OK, just like that. All right, I'm going to do a save all. And we're going to check this all out in our Chrome browser. Okay, so we're in the contact page. There's the gallery page, the about page. Now I can really see a difference between the pages, so there's no doubt that I'm on a new page with these different backgrounds. Although backgrounds can be distracting. I mean, this is a fairly simple web page, but if you had a lot of images and other stuff going on here, in fact, I think we're going to add Bruce's picture right here, then you don't want to have a really busy background. All right, so when you come back, we are going to add our gallery.